This is a hand that I saw in a magazine and have reproduced. The auction is reasonably natural, with North trying to hint he'd like to play in the spade suit without overdoing it. It's not the greatest of spade suits, but we end up in 3-no trumps. East has a fairly nice lead with the Queen Jack 10-9, in spite of the fact that North bid spades. So the Queen of Spades is led. And if you count up our tricks, 2 spades, 2 hearts, 3 diamonds, and a club, you would have 8 tricks if you play for just those top cards. So where do we go for a 9th? Well, 2 places. One of them is take 2 finesses in the club suit. So the chance of one of those finesses working is very good. Each one is roughly 50%. So the chance of failure is somewhere around 25%. It's actually 24 if you do the maths. So that's a very good chance. And the other one is that the diamonds are going to break. So if I go and play off the King of Diamonds, let me just demo that. The way to go and play for that suit is to, what would he throw away? I know, throw away a heart, I think. There. So if I go and unblock the diamond over here, and then cross over to, well, there's only one entry now, so I can play the heart to the ace. And now if the diamonds are breaking, then that'll bring in the contract as well. Of course, the diamonds aren't breaking, and the reason I played it through was not just to show you the fact that well, you could see they're not breaking. You can see the whole screen the same as I can. So you're not going to get the extra trick from diamonds. All the entries have gone from dummy. And the worst thing about this line is that it's really left you with only 1 club finesse. And the whole point about the club finesses, where each one of them is 50%, but the first one is likely to be wrong, because East could have the king and the queen, or the king or the queen. That's a quite bad chance on the first finesse, but it's only a very good chance when you take 2 finesses, and this line has left you with only 1 finesse possible in the club suit. So anybody who followed that line is going to go down, and therefore, and should you do that line? Well, maybe not, because you needed the diamonds to break 3-2. That's an excellent chance. It's 68%, but the club finesse was 75%, so that's better still. But there's yet something even better still. Let's go back to the key moment when my computer's very slow today. Come on. Oh, okay. Okay, so right. What you can actually do is play for both of these lines by giving up that top 3 diamonds. What you need to do is to test the diamonds to see if they do break 3-2, because if they do, you could just have hundreds of diamond tricks coming your way. And if they don't, leave yourself with the 2 finesses that you need to play in the club suit. So here's how you do that. You actually play the ace of diamonds at trick 2, which enables you to continue with the queen and learn whether they're breaking. Now, if they were breaking, you would just concede. That would be somebody's just got 1 diamond left. You would just concede a diamond and end up with 4 diamond winners, and you'd have no trouble making your contract. But when they don't break, it means you can fall back on your even better chance in the club suit, which is the double finesse. But then you have to be careful about the double finesse, because you don't want to, let me show you how to play it wrongly. If you go and lead the 9, saying, "Oh, I'm just going to run this," right? They will lead a spade. Well, let's say they play a, yeah, I suppose it's got to be. Let me put myself in dummy so I can do the second finesse. You can see that when I take the second finesse, because I've used up my 9, I'm not able to repeatedly take the club finesse. So yes, it wins, but because I've managed to lock myself into the north hand and leave myself with no entries in the south hand, I actually am still going down because I can't quite manage to get 2 extra tricks out of the club suit. So what have I got to go and do? Well, I just have to be. I'm waiting for all these yellow boxes to disappear from my screen. I think that's. Yeah, you just can't see a thing really. Okay, so let's undo there. Okay, I think here we are. What I was going to do is take 2 finesses, but the second one I want to do repeatedly. But I want to go and take, well, 3 finesses really in the club suit. So the first one, I go and leave the 4, follows, and I put in the jack or the 10 because I want to keep that 8. You'll see why in just a moment. East will normally win with a king, and he won't play back a heart, of course. He'll play a spade, which the diamonds are useless to me. Probably the hearts are useless to me. So I have to go and play across myself to the ace. And now is the time to use the 9. Now is the time to stay in dummy and repeat the club finesse. So if West ever covers, I just win with the ace and cash my 2 diamond tricks. But if West doesn't cover, I'm able to duck that 9 with the 8 and leave myself in a position to take the finesse yet again, so that I'm not sure I throw those. Right. And now, of course, I've got 7 tricks already, 2 more tricks with the ace and the king, and I can now claim my 9 tricks, and Sanya loves me to claim. So I'm claiming 2 more tricks because I probably won't make any more. So various ways of playing this. One of them, you could have just gone for the club straight away. If you do regard how I played it with the 4 to the jack in order to keep that 9 and 8, so I could do a repeat finesse after I've gone and lost the first club finesse. But the line I followed was better still. I tested the diamonds, and don't forget, 68% of the time, the diamonds are going to break, and I make this contract without any worries about whether both of the club honors are in the east hand. There's one other feature about the hand, which is it is possible to give declarer problems by ducking the first club finesse. If you lead the 4 of clubs to the 3, to the jack or the 10, and East ducks it, North may decide that West has the king and the queen, and then may just go wrong. But it's a very brave East who does this. I mean, for all you know, North is going to continue the ace of clubs and drop your king, and maybe that was your last chance to take a trick. But to say, if you really do have nerves of steel, there are chances of setting these contracts by doing something surprising to declarer. It's amazing how often refusing a trick you can have won will give declarer problems in deciding what he should do next.
Can I make a comment, Alan?
Of course, Colin, please do.
Okay, well, I watched a couple of people play this, and what they did, they played the clubs as you suggested at trick 2, and East didn't duck it, but they won the return, whatever it was. Then they cashed the king of diamonds and crossed over to dummy with a heart, and tried the diamonds, and when they didn't break, then they continued with clubs. So in fact, that line is going to be just as successful.
Oh yes, so it is.
Unless East does, as you've just suggested, ducks the king of clubs. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yeah, brilliant. Yes, that's a good line. Sorry, the point made in the magazine about how you have these two chances, so test one, try the other. But quite right. There's nothing.
Can you repeat what I've just said, because Joe is asking me to say it again, so you can tell him what I've just said effectively.
There is no harm in taking the first club finesse, because actually there's a bit of harm with it there, Colin. If
You still have to play to the jack or the 10, of course. Yes.
Yes, but we played the 4 of clubs early on. We trick 2. Well, I know what I can do, Colin. I am so versatile in these things.
Bobby's asking if you can play it that way. I'm sorry, I'll give you extra word.
So it's 3 no
it did
trump.
Seem worthy of comment.
No trump. Pass. And the leads the queen of spades, which you elect to go and win in dummy. And we start with one of the club finesses, and everybody's getting this right. That's just brilliant. And East does not make the master play of the king, but presumably continues with the jack of.
Seems the obvious thing to do, yes.
Right. Okay. So now I can afford to throw away, well, one of my diamonds. I don't really need them. Right. And now I can test the diamonds and still leave myself. Oh, that's even better than the line. Better than the line I suggested. So we cross over in the heart.
If East ducks with that king of clubs, won't it?
Indeed. I do say you do have to have seen the. It's quite amazing how often you can throw declarer off the right line by actually ducking at it. But I must say, when you bring yourself down to singleton king, you do have to be brave, especially if you have a sarcastic partner. The point there is that we're able to test the diamonds. Have I thrown a diamond by error? They're coming in. Why the diamond? The diamond should not be.
You could have thrown a heart before because
sorry, I've done it right. So the idea is to test the diamonds, which shouldn't run if only I was playing correctly. And now we can fall back on the.
You still have 9 tricks, Alan, even if you're throwing
because
one away,
I can do the 9.
5 more if they break.
Yes. So, but I could take all 3 take all 3 diamonds, and I just need, even if I misplayed the clubs. Oh, let me go back. It's really careless. I'm busy chatting to you, Colin. Of course, it's right. Okay, so
I'm leading you in temptation.
Yeah. Well, you distract me. So right. So on the jack of spades, right? I should throw another heart, shouldn't I? So jack of. Oh, because I threw the 2 of diamonds. I followed with the 4 of diamonds.
Hang on just a second. I'm trying to.
Idiot.
Now something's coming wrong with it.
Are you right?
Yeah, hold on just a second. Oh, that's it. Right, I'm trying to. No, I can't. I'm going to have to. I'm going to. This is because I'm live on things. I can't.
Well, I suspect I should press on regardless of that. Colin isn't here, but this is Colin is quite right. This is the best line of all. I can now see if the diamonds are breaking, and when I cross the jack of hearts to the ace and try the diamonds, if the diamonds were breaking, well, I will simply continue playing the diamonds forever and ever and make loads and loads of diamond tricks. When I discover they're not breaking, I can still cash the queen because it's a winner. I can use it to go the way I don't want. But now I'm in the position to do the second club finesse, and so make my contract this time, I think, with an over trick, because I've got two club tricks and the king of hearts. So whoever played it that way, they did very well. Well done, everybody. I wish I'd paid more attention when I did the analysis. So I'm going to claim again, but I'm claiming an over trick this time. Three more tricks to me, and I take the finesse. So the best line of all is to play both of these lines, trying to do, but the best line is take the first club finesse, then test the diamonds, and then take the second club finesse. And nobody fell into the trap of using the nine of clubs first or following with the eight of clubs. So well done, everybody. It's blue. Oh, well done, Jock. Excellent. No, I was told Colin said two people did it, although he's not here to verify it anymore. Okay, well, go on to the real hands now. The hands I've actually seen played at the table and thought were interesting. So export Bob number 2 to the table. And here's an auction for you. One club. Pass. Oh. One no trump, which is alerted here. 15-17. So this was an ACOL auction. Pass. One no trump. Well, I'll put it in for you. Why not? 15-17. And pass. Three no trumps. Okay, there we go then. So I've seen this played somewhere in the Apple Club. I've got any I sometimes note who played it, and sometimes I forget to do so. No, I've just got that it's a real hand that I've observed but not read. Okay, so the lead is fairly natural one, I think. This looks like a real lead. It is giving us a lovely chance. Spades are unbid, so it's not unreasonable for South to lead away from this holding. Even though it's dangerous as ever, I think I've mentioned to you before that leads away from honours with 4-card suits is a so-so proposition, because you hope by continuing to play that suit you will come to some long cards, but the very fact you're leading away from an honor means you might be gifting a trick away. So you know, you sort of, you've won a trick at the end, but you lose a trick because you're giving one away on the lead. So the obvious thing to do, since we really can't afford to leave the spacesuit open, is to win in this hand. And the problem on this hand is really that you have no quick entry to the club suit. So it's going to be fine if North has King Doubleton club or King to 3 clubs, in the sense that we can finesse and run the club suit. But if the King of clubs is in the south hand, and most declarers are up to ducking the first club finesse, even if they've got King to 3, after that, we will lose a late club, because we've taken 2 finesses maybe with our Doubleton club. West is out of clubs, and now do we try and reach dummy? Can we reach dummy? Well, you can definitely reach dummy by playing a diamond to the queen, but that loses a tempo to the king. Is that crucial? Probably will be. And you can try, of course, to lead a heart to the king, but if the ace is in the south hand, then that isn't even an entry at all. So let's assume that um, let me think. I suppose I would be working on the basis that I am, if I can actually get 5 clubs, certainly that's my main way of making this contract. I don't have many top tricks. I've got 2 spades and the ace of diamonds and the ace of clubs. So I've only got 4 tricks. I need lots of tricks, and I might be able to get one in the diamond suit. I might be able to get, well, we'll be able to get one out of the king, queen of hearts, but it's very hard to see how I can make this without the clubs coming in. So certainly I would work on the basis that I am going to be able to. The South might make a mistake. He's got King Doubleton Club and decides to win the first round. If so, I can make 5 club tricks, 2 spades for 7, ace of diamonds for 8, and I still need one more trick. So personally, and what the declarer did at the table was indeed to work on the 9th trick before he went for the 8th trick. So what declarer did was to lead the queen of diamonds, partly because if it was covered, then the jack of diamonds would be an entry to table. And now it's not so bad if the opposition have the king of clubs in the south hand. And also, if the king of diamonds is right, or the king of diamonds is in the north hand, if the king of diamonds isn't taken, that's the way to say it, well, at least I've got one trick, and now all I've got to try and do is bring in the club suit for the remaining tricks that I need. So South decided to duck, which is the normal thing to do. Standard advice is cover the second honor, not the first one. So West now had found he's got one extra trick, and he's one further up. He's got 2 diamonds, 2 spades for 4, and now he only needs 5 club tricks. But now it really comes down to he needs to take the club finesse and have it work. And he's in the wrong hand to actually do it. So does that mean he's got to play ace of clubs, queen of clubs? Well, that really does maximize your chances that you are going to be cut off from the club suit. So West decided, and I agree with him, that he should cross and start taking.
East, Alan.
Do I? No. Oh,
East
is East playing it? Oh,
yeah.
East decided he was going to play across. He's got 2 aces. If the king of clubs is right, he can bring the club suit in, and so that's probably what the contract is going to depend on. So the diamond is fairly safe to play the diamonds. North just played high, so they probably, if I unblock the ace, they can probably take the king and the 10 maybe, but that's only 2 tricks. It's and if the club finesse is right, I'm just going to make. So they played another diamond across to the ace, and I can't remember if they led the 9 or the 6. I don't see it makes with the king 10 and the 8 missing. I don't think it matters which you actually lead, but they led one, and the king went up. And it was at this moment that East fell from grace, because instead of saying, "Oh, that's very kind of East, why is he playing the king?" he said, "Oh, thank goodness, the king is right. I can run my club suits." And of course, the first line of thought of why is North being so nice as to play the king is the right line. The line that says, "Oh, thank goodness I can run my club suit," is false, because when you continue playing the clubs, you learn that diamonds are good now, probably a spade. You learn that the clubs are not breaking. You still have a loser in the club suit, and therefore you need to set the club suit up and get back to dummy before you're able to actually take the club tricks that you need. And you won't be able to do that. The ace of hearts is wrong. The king of diamonds is over the jack. You can cash your jack of clubs, but you will not be able to get back there and run the remaining clubs. And that's what the actual declarer found in real life. So where did they go wrong? Well, it was at that moment of joy when the king of clubs was played. Instead of saying, oh, good, I can run my club suit, the right line was, why is North being so nice? And the odds are he's being nice because he has to be nice, because it's a singleton king. And if it's a singleton king, that means that South has 4 to the 10. That means my clubs aren't running. Well, at least they're not running if I take the ace, but I still have an entry at the moment. So all I have to do is duck that club to make sure that I can run my club suit. And now, yes, they can take the odd trick or two. I imagine actually they're likely to play a spade. They can obviously take a diamond, and they can obviously take the ace of hearts, but 2 tricks won't set it. I would imagine North will lead back to his partner's original spade lead, and now, well, we're home and dry. We have 5 club tricks. We daren't mess around anymore. We've got a heart trick, but not before the opponents cash diamonds and spades against us. We just run for home with our ace of clubs, queen of clubs, and so on and so on. So I'm going to claim 3 more tricks. Claim. This is for you, Sanya. 3 more tricks. There we go. I make mine up. So I found the play here very interesting. First of all, the fact that you only had likely 8 tricks, and you have this worry about what's the entry to the club suit. So the queen of diamonds gives you an extra trick that you need if you're going to, because don't forget, you take a club finesse, there's loads of players will not hold up the king. So, but if you only got 5 club tricks, you still needed an extra trick from somewhere or other. So I thought playing the diamond was a good shot to get the 9th trick before you played for tricks 5, 6, 7, and 8. But then after that, you normally rely on North having king doubleton, king to 3, or so on. And the fall from grace was when the king went up. It's that feeling of euphoria which just misleads you. You're so relieved, and you play automatically without thinking, what has happened here? This is an unusual play. And of course, if you stop and think, it's now easy to make the contract. Good. The club suit is running if I keep an entry. Let them have the king of clubs, and now I've got my 9 tricks. The king of 6 was going an honor with an honor. Put 10 from, put 10 from. So that was the spade 9. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're quite right. I was not thinking on the opening lead. The 2 of spades was led, and it was the 10 of spades that was played from the north hand. So the 10 of spades drove out the queen. My mind was elsewhere. I'm sorry. Do you want to play that again? You can all see that, I think, surely. The 2 of spades was led. West docked it with the 5, but North did play the 10, and East was forced to win with the queen. Sorry, I was focusing on other things at the time.
Can't get started.
I've just come from a sleep, you know, Colin. I'm really tired. You don't know what life is like for me.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. upload to the table, board number 3. So let's follow this given auction. 1 spade, 3 spades, yes, 4 no trumps. Yes. I have a certain number of aces or controls is the more accurate term. And I fancy going to 6. I remember this one, yes. This is not the actual auction. Let me read my notes and just see what it says. It says, but I'm fairly sure this was an incredibly long auction. It went through all sorts of odds and ends, and I decided I couldn't possibly subject you to a 6 bid each auction, so I shortened it.
And it was in Polish as well, wasn't it?
Say it again.
So it was in Polish as well.
I actually have a friend that she's not Polish herself, but she plays in the Polish room, and she had made so many friends there. She's learned Polish just to go and play and chat to them. A lovely story. Okay, so here we go, and the lead is the
Queen of Spades.
It is. I don't know why it's not working for me, because I have put the final passes. Right. Right, lovely. So the lead was Queen of Spades, which made more sense, I think, on the given auction. And here we are with a tragic situation, really, because you have very few entries to dummy, and there's almost mirror distribution in the rounded suits. So 3 hearts and 2 clubs in both hands. So you can see that you've got no club losers and 2 heart losers, and left to your own devices, you are going to lose those 2 hearts. Let me show you why you lose them. We're going to win, of course, with the Diamond King, so we must beat the Queen. And then we're going to, that's all the trumps gone. Then we must unblock the, I suppose actually we could see if East falls from grace and covers but you cover an honor, of course, to promote the lower cards. East would have to be somewhat naive not to go and to actually go and cover the Queen. And sure enough, you have a singleton ace. And the reason that we're going to go down is when we go back to dummy, I don't know, heart, shall we say? And try it now, of course. Now, East has to be naive not to cover, because especially on this line, it's fairly obvious that the ace of diamonds had to go and be played. So you can hardly let declarer start making tricks with the jack and the 10 of diamonds. So you'll cover that. And although you've now got a diamond winner in the dummy, you cannot reach dummy to go and throw away your heart. Let's go back a little bit. Colin did tell me that there was a naive player who won the first trick, as I'm showing here, and there was a diamond to the ace, and then declare a cross back to dummy, and then the Queen is led, and sadly East was naive, because it's fairly obvious if you don't cover, you have to ask yourself, by the way, why did declarer play the ace of diamonds and not take the natural diamond finesse? Well, the answer surely is he's played the ace of diamonds because he had to, and therefore he has none left. And if you don't cover, well, then he'll just start throwing away his heart and make the contract. And sadly, that is what happened. Whereas, of course, if you do cover on the grounds that you don't want South to go and throw away his hearts, then Again, South is going to go down because, well, he's got two heart losers, and with no entry to dummy anymore, there's nowhere for them to go. So is this a defensive hand? Is it just a matter of I should cover the Queen of Diamonds with the King and make sure that there are no heart? Ooh, where am I here?
You've got too many. You need 3 passes now.
The,
That's it.
the screen gets covered with these yellow boxes. I can't see.
One more pass, Alan.
Thank you. Okay. So, how can we make this contract legally without East being on our side? And when you think about it, there's only one way to make it. East must have the King of Diamonds, and I must take a roughing diamond finesse, and it must win. And then I must be able to cross back to dummy to cash my winning diamonds. Well, there's only one way to keep entries to dummy. So when I said to you, we must beat the Queen of Spades, I was lying. You don't have to beat anything at bridge. You can just play small. And if they continue, oh, they played the 5, but if they had the 5 of spades, you can win that with the jack and still have 2 entries to dummy. So as long as you kept your 2 entries, I don't know what East will do, heart maybe, king, there we go. Okay, so now we're going to play for our diamond finesse, roughing diamond finesse. We play here, and we cross to the first of our entries. Go. And of course, East will realize that you're going to throw things away if he doesn't cover. So East will put the king on, but this time, no problem whatsoever, because I still have an entry to dummy. There's a diamond, no, and not a club. And this time, I am definitely going to get rid of both my hearts. So I win. I lose a spade trick I didn't have to lose, but I gain 2 diamond tricks that I couldn't make if I hadn't managed to keep the entries. So I'm claiming my 12 tricks. And this is all about recognizing the fact that you need an entry, 2 entries to dummy for this roughing finesse, 1 to take the finesse, 1 to get back, and the leader, the Queen of Spades, is taking one of those crucial entries away. You have to hope the finesse is right, but keep the 2 entries that you need. So yes, it's sad you lose a spade you don't have to lose, but hey, you're either going to go extra down or you're going to make the contract when the King of Diamonds is on the right side. There was a double. Is this hand or you're unhappy, Dimitri? Why are you unhappy? Was it the last hand or this hand you're talking about? Oh, you think there was a double on one of the bids? Previous.
Well, it could have been the 5 heart bid that was showing.
No, there was no double. On my auction, anyway. You never know with Sanya. I mean, she may have inserted a double just for the. In your spades are 2, yes, even so, because they can play another spade in an attempt still to take out my entry, but I win with my spade in my hand, and it's keeping those 2 entries to dummy, which is the crucial requirement to enable me to do the diamond finesse and then get back there. If the diamond finesse is wrong, I'm probably going to go lots down. But you don't win events by assuming that you're always going to get. I mean, to play the ace of, you're assuming that East is going to be nice and let you win the Queen of Diamonds for no reason whatsoever. You don't normally win events by playing for the opposition to be nice. So even if you're going to go more down, the profit of making 980 far outweighs the fact that you lose an extra 50 points here or there. Okay, board number 4. There we go. So this is the given auction. Clock.
Oh,
And I remember this auction. I know who actually played it. So for this pair, it would have been an apple auction. And the one club is natural, the one heart is natural, the two diamonds is a reverse, showing strength with clubs longer than the diamonds. Three clubs, I think, is a significant underbid, because partners reverse, showing a decent number of points. So I have to strongly disapprove of what in, because they weren't playing blackout. In blackout, of course, the only
Leventhal
negative.
could apply, Alan. Yeah.
Say it again.
Leventhal could apply. People bid two no trumps in that situation.
Oh
So
yeah, some people with
absolutely minimum. Yeah.
Okay, so but they weren't playing anything.
Possible.
So I think three clubs are there, but the final bid to four. I mean, three hearts is the obvious way to continue. So obviously this is a pair that thinks partner may just pass at any. Three hearts is forcing. So I disapprove of the auction, but this is what they actually produced. Okay, now the lead was the three of clubs. So pass, pass, pass. Oh yes, it's lighting up for me. There we go. So there's things we can conclude here. One of them is East bid clubs very strongly as his long suit, and West on this auction said they were prepared to play in it. So leading their suit is normally the worst thing you can do in defending any contract whatsoever. So when they do, it is almost certainly an indication that it is a singleton. So it's really dire news. If that's a singleton, South has the king, the jack, and the 10 over the ace and the queen. So not great. But looking at the overall hand, if the hearts are breaking, I've got four heart tricks. And if the diamonds are breaking, I've got four diamond tricks. And the ace of clubs would bring me up to 9. So I don't know. I guess I could play for a miracle distribution. Let me just think. Do I have the entries? I've got to take the ace of clubs. I've got to take my ace of diamonds to ruff a spade. Then I've got to take my king, queen of clubs. Now, I'm not quite sure how to get back to hand here. My idea is I want to cash the king, queen of hearts, cross back to hand, draw trumps, and then run my diamonds. I don't think this line is going to work. I mean, I can certainly take one spade off and then play for miracle breaks in the heart suit, but it's odds against, and also I don't really see how I have the entries to actually do it. And the moment they get in, if I've roughed one spade, they're going to cash one spade. It's very, very difficult to make on that sort of line. So what else do I have? Well, what I've got is an excellent club suit. It's just rather bad luck that the king and jack of clubs both seem to be offside, but that's life. They're both offside. And if I play on the club suit, sooner or later, I will set up lots of winners for myself. And then, well, maybe they will leave me alone and play diamonds. I don't really know. Certainly, what I should do is win with the ace and continue playing the clubs because I want to go and set the suit up. And if I once do it, then I should be able to have additional tricks in the clubs, which give me loads of options. And I'm not sure how south continues here. Some people would try and draw the trumps, but if so, that's really just because they can see that the spades are going to be trumped. So their instinct is to play a heart and run it around, and then another club, and now another heart. But that suits me fine because once I've got rid of that king of clubs, I'm willing to draw some of the hearts and play to start getting rid of my spades in the hand over here. So the best defense, although I don't know whether this is obvious, is actually to try and force declarer by playing on the spade suit. I continue with my plan, which is to set up the suit. And again, if we do this, you can see that North-South have improved their odds significantly because they've forced dummy to ruff with one of the honors, significantly reducing the chances that they have heart control. So now I have to be lucky. I need trumps to be 3-3 or for North to have a doubleton. If they're 3-3, I can play the king of hearts, the ace of diamonds, and the ace of clubs. And then another heart will, oh, that's not so good. I've got a spade loser. No, I don't think so. Actually, I need the hearts to be breaking with a doubleton in the north hand. Let me show you that helps. I need to draw some trumps now because I want to go and run my diamonds. Oh, that's very good news, the 10. Okay, I'm going to cross over to my ace of diamonds. There we go. I'm going to play another heart. And again, this is good news because it really does look as though the trumps are breaking with a doubleton in the north hand. And I say I don't think I can be, if I play a third heart there, just cash a spade. That will give them 4 tricks. So I have to play for this. I have to cross back to dummy. And I went to all this work to set up the club suit. Now, what is South going to do? If he roughs high, I am very happy. I'll get rid of the losing spade. And now I am going to be able to, I've got 2 top trumps and I've got a winning diamond. I'm going to have no trouble whatsoever if South roughs with the 9 of hearts. And if he doesn't rough at all, if he goes and throws away a spade, I'm going to throw my spade as well. And now, oh, I suppose I could have made it slightly harder. Let me undo that again. He might have thrown away his diamond to make things a little bit difficult for me. So again, I think I'll take my option here. And now when I, let's see, he's going to do something. I'll play my last club, and South is in much the same position. You see, he if he throws his spade, I'm just got 1 losing heart, 1 winning heart. If he roughs, I can over rough, and then I play a diamond back to dummy, use up his winning trump. If he throws the spade, I say, and if he roughs high, I shall throw away my losing diamond. So his best shot is to do this, but then I just force out his top trump, and now I have a winning trump at the end. And it's much the same if he roughs in earlier. You go back a little bit. When that are we there? Yellow screens everywhere. No, 2, 3, 4. Go back a bit more. Right, okay. Another options here, he could decide he's going to win with a 9, but I take the option to throw my losing spade, and it certainly doesn't really matter. I've got 2 winning hearts and a winning diamond. If he tries to force me, it doesn't really work anymore. I just win with my 7 and cash my 8 of hearts to get rid of his 6 of hearts, and then I have a winning diamond. So however South plays, let's claim here 2 tricks. Contract making. There's various ways the play might go, but the overall thing was, well, you could have gone for hearts 3-3 and a very lucky distribution to so that they couldn't force you. But the better plan by and large was to set up the clubs and then to see if you could use them, not just because the ending worked out well for us, but I say lots of times people set up the club, they see the spade void and they think, oh, the right defense here is to draw the trumps and then I'll be able to catch some spade tricks. They miss the fact that after they've gone and helped you draw the trumps and the club suit has been set up, you now start using those trumps club suit to throw away the spades, and so the contract can be made anyway. So you're not just playing for lucky breaks, you're playing for mistakes in the things that the opponents can do. May I commit? Yes, you may, John. Yeah. It's a free session. Okay, well, that's board 4. So moving on, board number 5. If you want to know, Declarer did not set up the club suit. She tried to draw the trumps and went for the 3-3 break and failed to win. Okay, export board 5 to the table. So 1 spade. I don't think my 1 spade worked. Try again. Much better. 2 diamonds. Three clubs. Pass. And 6. This was this. Right, okay. And this one, again, was a magazine I read about, sorry, a hand I read about in a magazine. The trouble was, in the magazine, South was the dealer. So South, of course, opened a diamond and the auction was completely different. So I had to go and invent an auction. Since to get the right declarer, it had to be North who opened. And the auction I have invented was simply designed to get you to 6 spades without wasting a lot of your time on auctions, which didn't really happen in real life anyway. Okay, but they're a real hand, and although they started with the diamond, they did indeed reach 6 spades by the North hand. And the lead was indeed the 7, even though they had indicated that hearts is probably a weak suit. Easton liked to lead away from the heart holding and decided to go and lead a club. So this looks a nice hand. Assuming trumps break 3-2, you've got 5 tricks there and 4 club tricks for 9, 8 hearts for 10, and then you can make the contract either by roughing a couple of hearts, or much more natural, of course, is to concede a diamond trick and then use the king, queen of diamonds and 10-9 of diamonds to throw away all the losers you have in the north hand. Of these, I don't know which I'd prefer if spades was. Oh, I'd prefer either. Probably I would concede the diamond because then I could just draw the trumps and just throw them away. Because they haven't led hearts, it's a relaxing time. I don't have to worry that if I draw trumps, they can cash a heart. Because I've got the ace to protect myself, and I have loads of entries to dummy because I've got the queen and the jack. So the declarer therefore followed the thought that, well, all I've got to go and do really is draw the trumps and concede a diamond, and I have hundreds of tricks. Then what's the problem? Well, one of the problems is that the diamonds might break 4-1. Not sure what you can do about that really, because I don't. You obviously can only take 3 spade tricks, and well, no, I suppose you're okay. You're going to lose the jack of diamonds, and all you could have to do, even though you've got a spade loser. If spades are 4-1, you're probably going to lose a spade, but having conceded concede the ace of diamonds. Well, I'm not sure where it's going to go. Okay, if spades are 4-1, you may go down, unless, of course, you can finesse against the diamonds. Well, leading the king, if there's a singleton, 10 or jack, allows you to finesse. There, leading to the ace, if the 10 drops, it allows you to finesse against West having the jack. These are dangerous thoughts, I have to tell you. And I won't go too much into this because, of course, you can see that they're not just 4-1, they're 5-0. If they are 5-0, you have to play to the ace of diamond, ace of spades the first time. The point being that if somebody's got jack 10, you have to keep 2 honors over the jack. Well, king for the jack, queen for the 10. That's the only way that you can pick them up. And if they're 4-1, say you're almost certainly go down. I'll just show you my line of logic here. Let's go here, the 7, they'd probably play the 10, the ace, right? If I were to play the king, and East goes and plays the 10, or West goes. So I suppose East follows. The point is, if somebody has 10 double turn or 10 small, he could just play the 10 and mislead you into thinking that he has a singleton 10, when actually instead of a singleton 10, he's got jack 10 small. Then you think, oh, I've got to go and take a finesse because that looks like a singleton 10 to me. And far from a singleton, it was actually jack 10 small, and you just lost the spade trick that you didn't want to go and lose. So it's all really well playing off the king and seeing somebody follow with the 10. You still don't know for sure what you want to go and do. Do you want to go and play for a 4-1 break and maybe go down or not? Whereas allowing for a 5-0 break, at least you know what to do. And that's what the declarer, who was a famous American declarer, actually did. He played to the ace because when they're 5-0, at least you know the situation and you know exactly what you have to do. Now, what do you have to do? Well, the sad thing is, of course, that it's not possible to pick everything up. You obviously need to, let me start doing these things here. There's a choice of how West continues. He before I go, I suppose he covers the first one. That will show some of the things. Now, one of the things I'm going to need to do is to set up these diamonds to discard my losing hearts. So you shouldn't just concentrate on one thing at a time and, oh, I'm going to cross back on the queen and I'm going to take the club, the club, and then I'm going to do, you're going to run out of club entries if you do that. So you should lead a diamond at this. Oh, I think I've gone slightly wrong here. If he covers, we're going to win with the queen. I'm so sorry. Okay. So I don't want to immediately cross back and take another finesse. I want to go and set up my diamonds. And I'd overtake to make sure I don't run out of entries. Okay, well, I don't want my ace to be roughed away. Not sure what I would do here. I could take out an entry to dummy by leading the club, or I could see if we got maybe partner's got the ace of hearts. No, he doesn't. Okay. Right, now I'm ready for the rest of my thing. I'm going to pick up the spades, but I can't actually, as you'll see, really pick them up. Because this time, of course, he's not going to cover. And so, diamonds are used, right. He's going to keep that in a way that I can no longer finesse. So what you have to do in these situations is end up in dummy at trick 12, when there's only 2 cards left in everybody's hand, and lead a card from dummy, which then, because there's only 2 cards left, there's only the jack and the 4 of spades left. West had to go and play a spade, and you can over off the jack with the king or the 4 with the 7. And you have to be in a position where you have only 2 spades left yourself. If you were in this position with 3 spades, you cannot manage the position where you reach dummy at trick 12, because when at trick 11 you lead your winning queen of clubs or queen of diamonds, you will be forced to rough it. So if actually you had an additional trump, you would have to rough something and then go back to dummy to bring yourself down to this required ending. He has 2 cards that you're trying to pick up, 2 trumps, but you can't actually do the finesse. You have 2 cards which can beat them, and now you have to get to the position where you are leading winners from dummy that will do it. So here we go. I'm ready to run. I've got my queen of diamonds. Okay, well, want to keep my club entry to dummy. Let's throw a heart. Now I keep playing these cards off. Now you can see that if he does rough early, I just win, cash my trump, cross back to the queen of clubs, no problem. So he'll probably go and throw his club maybe to keep me there. I'm going to throw another heart. They're just losers. Okay. So now, well, the trouble again, if he goes and roughs, he's going to over rough me, draw the trump, cross back to the queen of clubs, and he's got the 7 of diamonds as winner. So maybe I wait even longer with my but no, I just keep on with the diamonds. And again, West is in this bind. If he roughs, we over rough and we have winners. If he discards, I reach the position I envisaged, whereby I am leading anything from dummy now and forcing him to go in. If he tries the 4, I'll win with the 7. If he's to try the jack, I'd have won with the king. I've managed to catch him. So I don't know whether you did play the king of spades or the ace of spades at trick 1. I think the ace of spades is right. It's it allows various plays when West has a lot of spades on this side. Even if there are four spades, you have chances of doing the same sort of end play. So I think you should play to the ace of spades at trick one. But after that, this is called a trump coup, the eventual thing. And say this is a fairly straightforward one in the sense that you started off with the same number of trumps as West did. The harder ones are when you start with 6 trumps. Remember what I said, you have to bring yourself down to the same number of trumps as West, namely 2. And if you started off with lots of trumps, it means you actually have to usually rough a winner simply to reduce your cards to the same number of trumps as West. Then you need to cross back to dummy and then do the play that you saw me do. I just won winning diamond after winning diamond, waiting for him to ruff. When he didn't, I threw away all my losers. But had he ruffed, I'd have drawn trumps in a flash, crossed back to dummy, and continued running my diamond. Also called a non-trump finesse. Is it? I didn't know that, Robert. Oh, okay. So I say, remember, you must have loads of tricks to run from WH winners. Your trumps must be the same length. You must have brought yourself down to 2. If you bring yourself down to 3 trumps in his hand and 3 in yours, he will ruff with his low trump and force you to over ruff, but now you are leading away in the 2-card ending. It has to be you brought yourself down to 2 trumps and you brought him down to 2 trumps or her down to 2 trumps, and then this sort of ending is going to. Okay, moving on to board number 6, everybody. Right, okay. Let's see what my commentary is. It says no idea. Again, this looks like some sort of real life thing because the opening bid was an Ackle Benjamin bid. So if you're not familiar with them, this is reverse Benjamin actually. The 2-diamond bid shows a very strong hand, but not sufficiently strong to be game forcing. It usually these days has a good 6-card suit, and I say normally the count is somewhere around 18 to 20. So it's a really strong hand, but not so that you can say I have game in my own hand. There's not a 23-pointer, nor does it have 10 cold tricks that you can just run off and make sure of your game. So that's the sort of, and I should have alerted it. So that's the thing. These auctions are often good to interfere with. That means that they're getting their suit into the auction very late on. So I always try and interfere when I have a good 6-card suit. So whether I was West here, I don't know. But certainly there was a 3-club overcall. Normally in Benjamin, you pass to listen to what partner has to say. But here, North thought, well, I've got a club stop and whatever partner's got is going to run. He should bid 3 now. Probably right still to pass. Don't forget, partner normally has a very specific sort of hand. A good 6-card suit, 18 to 20 points. So I'm not sure that North should bid 3 no trumps. And then when South showed his suit anyway, North decided that, well, probably voiding clubs. I've got the king of the trumps and I've got an ace and a king. So he actually jumped to a 6. West played the king of clubs. And East played the 9. And West has a decision to make. Does partner go double to 9? Or is that from Queen Doubleton, and South is actually trying to fool you from leading a second club, and partner will rough the second club? Well, odds are, with South having a 6-card suit, the Queen of Clubs is an honest card. So West decided to go and switch a trick to a heart. So how can we make this? Well, we have 7 heart tricks, 2 spades for 9, 2 diamonds for 11, and we need 1 more trick. We, in another bidding sequence, might try and rough out the ace of clubs, rough the 6 of clubs, rough the 10 of clubs, but with West overcalling and leading the king, you can be fairly sure that won't happen. We can try and drop the ace queen of diamonds. Maybe that's a chance, although obviously not a very good chance. We could try for a singleton diamond on her. We could play the ace, and if West had singleton jack or singleton queen, we could finesse the other on her. And otherwise, we have nowhere to go for a winner except to squeeze, because we know that we have threat cards with the jack, or a threat card with the jack of clubs. There's only one person can beat the jack of clubs, and that's West with the ace. And maybe West is holding on to a 4-card diamond suit. So he's looking after the diamonds. And if I play off all my winners, he won't be able to hold on to the jack of clubs and the 4-card diamond suit. Well, that's a possibility. I'm finding it quite attractive, but not too attractive, because by the time somebody owns a biddable club suit, he's long in that suit and tends to be short in the others. So it's not all that likely that West is the one looking after the diamonds, and for that matter, looking after the spades, because it's possible I could set up a spade as a threat as well. I'm not expecting West to have another suit. So if he's got 6 clubs and 3 spades or 2 spades, East will have length in the spades. I can set up a spade as a threat as well, simply by roughing a spade. And I think that has to be the best line. Assume West is long in clubs. Assume, therefore, he's short in spades. If I win this, let me think, I need entries to dummy to do this. Yes, okay. So I can win in either hand here. So if I play a spade across to my ace, and if I cross over to dummy, that's good. They've broken, so I don't have to worry about us. If I play the king of spades and throw away one of my diamonds and rough a spade, then if I'm right that West doesn't have length in spades, I will have created a threat with the 7 of spades. Only one person can beat the 7 of spades, and that person I'm expecting to be East. So if West is having to keep the club suit because of my club jack of clubs, and if East is having to keep the spade suit because of the 7 of spades is a threat against the East hand, nobody should be able to hang on to the diamond suit. And squeezes always work then by having engineered the right threat. You cash all your winners. So here we go. ace and throw there. That's a threat. I need to keep it. I need one club. Let's throw one of those. And I only need one spade, right? Another one. So well, I'm not going to keep the diamonds. Another one of those. And I'm not going to keep the clubs. Throw that one. Now another one. So I don't know. I could throw that. I could throw a club. I don't need to there. Okay. No, I need to keep the club as a threat. I need to keep the 7 as a threat. I don't need all the diamonds. I can afford to throw that because I'm still able to cross to the ace of diamonds and back to my king. No trouble, says East. I can throw that one. And now the magic moment when you play off your last winner, because now people have to make real decisions. Well, West doesn't have much of a decision to make, really. He's going to hang on to the club. And I don't have much of a decision. He's hung onto the club. He doesn't have 3 diamonds. I don't need the jack of clubs any longer to keep pressurizing the West hand. And East, well, East has a problem. He's got to keep the jack of spades, or the 7 of spades would be good. So really, he has to throw away a diamond to prevent me getting a winner with the jack of spades. And if all has gone according to plan, nobody should have been able to keep the diamonds guarded. So here we go. Cross back to my hand. Ah, that's the pleasant side. And then I make my last trick with the 10 of diamonds. Everybody okay? So although I must say I would probably bid 3 clubs maybe not at this vulnerability, but certainly in most vulnerabilities, I have found it really can mess up the auction for these multitude diamonds. I am with you. Wow, well done. Well done, Dimitri. I'm with you, by the way, Robert, about playing a weak 2 diamonds. I have had so many successes against people playing weak 2 diamonds because they announce that they're weak, they announce their distribution, and at the same time they say, but I'm leaving you lots of room to bid your majors or bid no trumps and find the best contract. So you're giving a blueprint of your hand and saying, I'm giving you lots of space, though, to find the right place to play. And I say, personally, I have just had success after success playing against players who play it. I don't know. Joe, the 2-over-1 sequences I'm aware of, at least in Manchester, if you're playing 2-over-1 and the opposition open a club, a 2 club bid shows 5-4 in the majors, and a 2 diamond bid shows 5-5 in the majors. So again, they're not using the jump bid to as a weak 2. One. Oh, sorry. The only bid that is 2 is a jump over. Ah, right. I see. So so you're playing standard, but partner's got an open. So it's quite different if you've opened. If your partner is open, because if you open, you're showing sort of 5 to 9. Usually the opponents have loads of points. If your partner is open, showing some number of points, and you've got the right range, it's much less likely that the opposition are going to have an easy time of it to go and find the right contract. They won't have the balance of points to make a constructed bidding sequence easy and possible for them. So, 1 club by ops. Yeah, well, again, that's the one I was talking about. It's 1 club by ops. The Manchester 2-over-1 system is 2 clubs shows 5-4 in the majors and 2 diamonds shows 5-5. So don't know what to tell you, really. That's the system I'm aware of when I play with Manchester players playing 2-over-1. So, and again, I do ask how useful you are showing a weak hand and saying, but here's my distribution. I'm weak. I'm giving you lots of room, folks, to find the best place to play. I'm really not so sure, Joe. I am not convinced it's the best way to use the bin. Oh, one club, two down. What's double? Doubles for takeout. Okay, well, you play your system. I play mine, Joe. Moving on to wrong button. Board number 7. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, there's a layer of bidding missing here. It actually seems to. No.
Staff, you know.
I don't know why it does this. Why doesn't it default to showing the top line of the bidding? Why does it hide the top lines, showing all the lower bids? More bad programming. Okay, so the opening bid is 1 spade. Yep, 1 spade by Sal. Pass, pass. 2 hearts. Pass. 2 no trumps. Pass. 8 clubs. Pass. 4 clubs. And okay, so I don't know how many 2-over-1 sequences. Sorry, I play Gestum, which allows me to show all sorts of 2-suiters. Unfortunately, it's normal to play an opening bid by the opponent's pass 2 no trumps as a balanced 19 or 20 counter because you're a bit short of bids to show the variety of hands. I suspect that rather messes things up for trying to use 2-suiters. I suspect 2 spades is still 5-5 hearts and another. But I have to. Well, I would bid 2 hearts here. I strongly disapprove of using these methods to show 5-5 when you have a 6-card major. So I personally would always bid the heart suit rather than go for a 1 spade pass 2 spade bid because there is an imbalance between the 2 suits, and I like to try and get over the fact that the heart suit is 1 card longer than just 5 cards. 2 no trumps. He shows his other hand. Could be 5-4, of course. West now carries on to agreeing the clubs, and now East makes a final offer. I'd like to go and play in the heart suit. So everything's fine except for the lead, which is the ace of clubs. And why is that awkward for you? Well, I told you earlier, you have just gone and agreed the clubs. He showed at least 4. West showed that there was a raise possible in the club suit. And when the opponents lead that suit, either they are lovely people who like to help you make the contract by setting up your major suit, or they are leading singletons and are hoping to get a ruff. And this pair is just the same as all the other pair you've tried to avoid all your life. They are trying to get a ruff and set the contract. They are not nice people. So you follow, of course, and I would imagine that's a suit preference signal, because North will have read that as well as a singleton. Rarely right to play honest cards in this situation, although I don't honestly think it's going to make much of a difference. And South goes and switches to a diamond, which is what partner asked for when he went and played that low club. He said switch to a low suit. Mind you, with the king of spades in dummy, I think it's fairly obvious that there's not likely to be a spade entry to the north hand. So if you're with what's going to happen, then this is the way to go down. You just ignore all the warning signs which are coming your way, and you try to draw trumps. And if South is on the ball, South will win and cross to partner's hand with the diamond. And here comes the club off, which is going to take you one down. That almost happened at the table I was watching, except South's excuse was it was 1 a.m. in India and everybody was asleep, including him. So when the first heart was played, he actually ducked the first heart. And of course, after that, it's much harder to go and take the club off. And so the contract actually made. But then again, brave actually to play at 1 o'clock in India, in my opinion. Still, that is not the right way to play the contract. You, East, should also know that you're going to go down because of a club rough, and you should try and take steps to stop it. Now, you know how it's going to happen. South is the one who opened. So South's going to win the ace of hearts. He's going to put his partner in with the 8 of diamonds, and then there's a rough. How do you stop it? By getting rid of the communication suit and throwing away your, and again, South open, so you know that's going to be won by the hand that can't give a rough. This has a name, actually, the scissors coup, because you're cutting communications. So South will try and get his partner in, but of course now he can't get his partner in because you've thrown away that communication card, and now you are okay to start drawing trumps. And it doesn't matter if South keeps a winner and try to get his partner in again. I mean, there just basically is no way he's going to get his partner in. You're going to draw trumps and you're going to draw the last trump. And of course, you have all the clubs, so you're going to make the contract. So I'm going to claim. Oh, I hope I've been claiming. Have I been claiming, Senya? I sometimes lose track of these things. There I go. So a classic hand in a way. A card is led and it screams, it's a singleton, I'm trying for a rough. They try to put partner in, but you are able to put the communications by playing a card that forces the safe player to win while you throw away the card that allows free communication between the two hands. It's nice when they bid because, of course, here we can be fairly sure that South had the ace of spades and the ace of hearts. Sometimes you just have to cross your fingers. There's been no bidding, but for all that, you can see the freight train hurtling towards you. All you can do is lead that king of spades and hope that South has the ace of spades and that therefore you will cut the communications. But if you can see that this accident is rushing towards you, do something about it to try and prevent it. They're all claiming, I'm doing well, aren't I, Sonia? Is that no? It's the scissors coup is the name for loser on loser, where you cut the communications of the opponent. Okay, and on to our last hand, unless somebody has a question. Another question. What was the question? Oh, somebody said, was that called an elimination play? I take it as this hand here. It's not really an elimination. It's more the fact that you're throwing the communication card rather than throwing somebody in to get a favorable lead. Okay, board number 8. Here we go. Now, all the auction is here. Jolly good. I'm not being tricked again. Warm heart. Um, well, have we got any details about where this came from? This was played in a local tournament where a friend. That's right. Um, a friend of mine played it, and I went over it with her, and it turned out that although loads of people had bid to 4 spades, half the room had bid to 4 spades, they all went down. So I thought, well, if everybody's going down, I guess it's worth putting in to see how people did. Um, um, for the bidding, uh, East has upvalued the hand. Uh, you're allowed to claim a point for a good reasonable anyway, 5-card suit. And I think Ace Jack 9 counts as reasonably good. And you're certainly, once there is a fit, allowed to claim 1 for a doubleton, 2 for a singleton, and 3 for a void. So there's 2 additional points for owning a singleton diamond. So although E seems to only have started with a 13 count, with 1 for the heart suit and 2 for the diamonds, he's actually got 60 in value points, what the robots call total points. And so, of course, the 3 spade bid is about down the middle, and an easy raise to game by West. Okay, the lead is the Jack of Diamonds. And I think South actually ducked this, which is the correct thing to do. The Jack denies the Queen, and in a suit contract, it also denies the Ace. It's very poor play to underlead an Ace against a suit contract because the opponents tend to win that round and then rough the subsequent round. So South knows that the Ace and Queen are both in the West hand, and therefore it's rather purposeless to put the king up. It really does relatively little to strengthen your 2 cards. So I'll play this through twice, I think. I'll play it once doing what a lot of people will do, and then I'll play it through to tell you what I believe is the right way to play these sorts of hands. The general rule of hands like this, where you've got a long suit and a 4-4 fit, is attend to the side suit first. So the side suit, of course, is the heart suit. And if heart suit was running, if you had ace, king, queen of hearts, then you're entitled to draw trumps and then cash your heart suit. But if the heart suit isn't good, then the general rule is attend to the side suit first, play on the heart, set it up, and then draw trumps. So let's see if you decide that, well, I can mess around and draw a couple of rounds of trumps first of all. There we go. And let's do the king. Okay. Now, well, I've placed myself in the wrong hand, but never mind. I'm probably going to duck a heart anyway. So, and you can see actually King Queen 10, it makes no difference. So, although maybe I should have cashed ace of spades, let's play the 2 of hearts here. South, of course, will rush up with the 10 because he can see that there. And what do you do with the south hand? Well, you should see that playing a diamond is a pretty useless thing to do. The king of clubs is an entry to dummy. You're going to let him gain tricks by roughing the diamonds with his spades, and you'll give him the entries to continue setting up the heart suit. You've got 1 trick so far, and you need to set up more tricks for your side. You cannot set this contract unless partner has the ace of clubs. If partner has the ace of clubs, partner can go and play clubs back to you and set up your queen of clubs. So the correct line of play should be to try and establish tricks for your side. And back comes a thing. Well, you might run into the jack, but it's not likely to be winning. So you play the king. Okay. And now I still have to go set up my heart suit. So play the ace. And you can see that things are really not going all that well here, I suppose. Jack of hearts, king, and now if I rough with the 8, I'm going to be over rough with the jack and they're going to cash a club. That's not so good. If I rough with the ace, I don't know. I still haven't got rid of my losing club yet. Can I do that? I imagine he's going to what do we do? Oh no, we seem to be making it. I thought this went down on this line, but GIB tells me it is making as long as you rough with the ace of. So even though North is going to throw away something, yes, I see. I can rough a diamond to dummy. So I do make, after all, rough a diamond. And I've managed to. Oh, I still haven't set the.
Cash ace of diamonds first, Alan.
Ah, right. Okay. Cash the ace is right. Okay. So if I. Right. Okay. Well, ace of diamonds. Oh dear, I've gone wrong again. Right. Throw a diamond. Right. So ace of diamonds. Right. Now he can throw away the losing club here, is it? Ah, right. And now I can rough the losing club as well. Right. And now I can rough the losing. Right. So this is here. Am I all right, Colin? I was expecting to go down, but I see. I trumped.
You're okay now, yeah.
Oh, right. I see. Right. Well, sad to say, because I wanted this line to go down, I'm going to make the 10 of spades, either because West Ross with the jack, or because I plays the 10 of clubs, and so makes it. Still, it was a somewhat nerve-wracking experience. And my memory is actually that if North-South had played correctly, they do go down if they cash 2 trumps. It's normally the wrong thing to do. And let me tell you the right thing to do. Show double dummy, no. Export to the table. Yep. Okay, so the contract is 4 spades by East. That's right, 4 spades by East. No. 4 spades. Okay. And the loser jack diamonds. And the normal thing to do is to leave yourself with entries to set up your heart suit planning to draw the trumps or some of the trumps after you've gone and done this. So finessing the 9 isn't silly. There may be an additional way to generate tricks if the that fails. South will play. Bit hard to say, really. Again, it's a good line to try and establish your clubs. It's very difficult to set contracts like this if you don't have 2 club tricks. So I would almost certainly switch to a club and get another club back. And now I don't. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I haven't played this for a week or two. So
You need to follow to the club, Alan.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. Right. Okay. Right. So there's various ways. I mean, I could just play a half, and then instead of yeah, I click and nothing happens. So certainly a natural line is just go and throw the club away. So that shortens their trumps and allows me to gain more trump control.
Why is he roughing his partner's trick?
Because I'm asleep, Colin. I did tell you I had to go and sleep before I started.
Yeah.
People go, okay. What? Cash a club? Rough? This work? I think I really am okay here. I can cross the dummy. Oh, seems to be I'm doing cross the dummy.
Yeah, you can play a big one.
Can I?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Good job you're here. You should take charge of this class, you know. I think we need to rough a
heart with the ace of spades.
Yeah, but I still need to finesse partners. Oh, I see. I don't use my ace of diamonds. Doesn't make any difference. I need to just draw the spades, don't I? Yes, I don't think I played this very well because I don't really feel I should be finessing doing the contrary. Sorry, folks. I know the principles of this, and I'm sure I looked at it when I actually thought, though, this was a useful problem to set. But claim again. There we go. I'm beginning to see why everybody went down when they played at the British Club. Say the normal line is certainly don't draw 3 rounds of trumps. I think that's very poor. You leave yourself with very little to set up the heart suit. But the normal rule on these hands is try and establish your suit, then go and draw the trumps afterwards. So apart from, no, I'm just too tired to do this. Sorry, folks. But you'll just have to live with general principles. Good idea to set up the suit, draw the trumps afterwards, as the certainly are. And I went shopping today. Do you know how hard it is to go shopping when you're my age? Hey, I have my 80th birthday soon, folks. So I'm young. I'm only 79. Okay.
Thanks very much, Alan.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, Colin. I don't think I'd have got through without you.
Of course you would.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you. Spring chicken, no, Caroline, no.
He's a rooster. Yeah.
Okay, right. I'm going to stop recording first of all. So let me do that. So more. Pause recording. Stop.